So let's move to file reading if you have any questions regarding exceptions. Are there any questions regarding exceptions?
Again about throws.
Okay.
What happens if we do not have like try catch in any level? Like, and should we?
And even throw, or just.
For example, we have throws
okay.
exception here, but we do not have anything like with try and catch in the next level and nowhere.
Then your app crash and stop. Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to like find where in my app it has try catch.
Yeah, it could be even, if, for example, this example which you see, we have try section here. But if we do not have this, we need to throw that, but throw here. What that mean? This main method. Throw into the system so your app just crash.
All right. So yeah. So we do not use throws if we do not have try and catch somewhere.
Yeah, you can basically, but your app will crash. So
well, yeah.
it is also trade-off,
And I guess this crashing is somewhere implicitly somewhere in JDK log.
Yeah.
This chain of methods.
Yeah. So, okay, this is basically philosophical discussion, guys, I could say, how we handle exceptions. So, for example, let's compare if you have such an experience working with, for example, Windows and Mac OS. So, when something crashes in Windows, we know this sound, boom, and we know this dialog, exceptions, some technical information, and you put just OK. You will almost never see it on Mac. Because there is another approach. They don't want to bother users with some specific technical information and make him upset and so on. But your app just crashed. Just closed and that's it. What is that? I don't know. So something happened. Your app isn't working. It crashed. But you don't see the boom. And you don't see this awful dialog. So you decide. This is also user experience, so you decide how to handle. So that's why I see this is trade-off. Don't be very fanatical or like paranoid regarding exception handling. So you could handle some exceptional situations with specific return values or specific behavior of your classes. But still, in some situation, we still need to handle that to make our program not crash. So, but not every error you should show your user, oh, this error. Okay, why user should know that? Just say him, problem occurs. Not saying that, but this is philosophical discussion, as I said. Okay, let's move to more applied topic, which is file reading. These 2 points, guys, so try to dream now. Now we learn with you graphical user interface. So you could run your program, you could see your program, you could push buttons, you could interact with your application, and you even could show it to your friend, and your friend will understand something in that, even if he's not a computer science student. Because, you have some graphic user interface. And second part, when we talk about files, so graphic user interface and files, so data storage. These 2 parts make your program really useful. You could really build anything you want because you could save data, you could then open your program again and the program will restore its previous state, and you could maybe add some information to your database and play with that. So this is the point when your program become useful. So that's why I like this subject or topic regarding file readings and writings. So let's start from reading. How to read information from the file. So we have, for example, file name here. This file will be in the root of your application. Then we could basically use just file reader, but to make it buffered, as I said, and to read line by line in more convenient way, you use these 2 objects, file reader and buffered reader. What is file reader? File reader, here you put name of your file, and file reader will read file contents as characters. So remember, basically you had some computers fundamentals, so I don't know how to say that, subject. So you remember that zeros, ones, you remember that everything in the computer in binary code and so on. So when you access some file, system should convert that zeros and ones into what? If a txt, then into symbols, into characters. And file reader does exactly that. It makes this binary format and convert that to symbols, so you don't need to make, oh, this is byte, this is code for A, or this is code for character B, this is code for character C capital, and so on. Everything like this converting is done by file reader, but next, to read it line by line, like here, you use buffered reader and make your work even more convenient. So, as I already said, if your file too big, maybe it is even megabytes or hundreds of megabytes of text files, of course it is hard to imagine for a small project, but still, it is not very good to read all the file at a time. So take all the file, all the 100 megabytes. But you could read chunk by chunk, and here, this optimized way, buffered reader will help us. What we need to do? We need to create first file reader and put parameter file reader into buffered reader. And after that, we have this variable reader, and we could call this wonderful method readLine. And this readLine is also like scanning lines in console application. So you just read your file line by line, and you make this while loop. So let's try to understand what this code means. So let's talk together. So how will you explain me work of this while loop, please?
So it reads the lines until some of the lines.
I can explain.
Yeah, just Sophia already started, and I will try that you could hear. Yeah, so.
Okay, so it reads lines in the file till the moment when some of the lines is just empty.
Is empty line or null line. Yeah. You didn't hear. Yeah, this problem maybe we need to ask one more microphone for online. Okay, so Sophia just said that we will read line by line until one of the lines will empty. Okay, any additions maybe from now online auditory? Could you help us also, your suggestions? Something to add. So basically it is true, absolutely, but let's now move from variable to variable, from symbol to symbol. So first of all, what do we have here?
So we call a method of
We call a method.
buffered reader. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So readLine is basically this method.
And we understand that return value of this method is string. And we read next string, maybe first string in this case, or we read some string from our file and put this string here, okay? Why we have these brackets here?
Because it's all a string, I'd say, like, I forget.
Expression.
Yeah, because it's like,
Because this is expression, but this is operator, which, how we call these operators? How we classify them? Logical operator. Logical operator have high priority. So if we not put brackets here, then this logical operator will try to make this, and then, so it is not what we want. So basically, first of all, we make this expression, put result here, and result of this expression will be basically line. And then, after this line, we compare line and null. Yes? And we see if this line not null. Okay? So what is condition to...
May I ask you something?
Yes.
But a line has the same value as the read line. So
That's true.
if we would compare this method with null, it will be the same.
And also, I have a question. Like,
That's right, but let me explain you. If we compare read line with null, and for example, result of read line is not null, then what will we have in this variable? What will be result of this expression without brackets?
Yeah, false, false.
False or true?
True. True.
Well, false.
Okay, so
True, true.
true, but we don't need true inside line. We need string inside line, right? We want to work with that line. So we don't need Boolean value inside line. We need string value here. That's why we first run expression and then compare line with null. And then we work with string value. This is the reason for these brackets. Do you understand that, guys?
And does read line automatically iterate like lines? Because
Yes, because it is while loop, and every time for the next iteration we will run this code. Every next iteration we will run this code, read line, so next line come here, run this, then come back here, read line, second line we get here,
yeah, I just
compare.
I'm just trying to realize like what. Again,
Like we don't have any increments here.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is good points, guys.
What
Yeah.
is read line? What is read line? What does it return actually? I just can't understand.
So read line is returning next line. That's why it is kind of increment. Yeah, this is good, how to say that, symbolical comparison here. Yeah, so it is kind of incrementing our loop. Without this read line, we will have Stack Overflow and infinite loop here. But because every time, so let me, by the way, draw it. If we have this txt file, and we have these lines, this is our first line, this is our second, this is our third, this is our fourth, and so on. So when we run this loop, we come to this first time to this line. Then we put, this is my line variable. So we put, I might have any other markers, different color. There is a lot of such things here, wonderful. So we put this value first of all. We take this line and put into line. We compare this line with null. This is not null. That's why we run this part. We println that, and then we back to this line. What we do here? We take another line and put it here. Then this line, put it here. Then this line, put it here. This line, put it here. Next, we run read line again, but read line gives us null. And we put null to our line variable. And what then? Our loop stops. Okay? Does it make sense? Yeah? Okay, super. So this is how we read files line by line. And so, yeah, let me explain how we write files, and then we'll make a break. So, file writing. Again, we have this try catch because we are obligated to do that. We require to do that. And we have, basically, we could have the same construction, like file writer, buffered writer. But here, we have just file writer. We we write all the data at a time, not line by line, but for example, we already have some big string. For example, we have this string. We put this string into one variable. We call it data here. Basically, we have, of course, above value of this variable, but it could be even this big string with this specific symbols at the end. So we put all of that into data. This is our string. And we just put this string into what? Into this method. Writer, write. Into output txt, and that's it. So very easily, you just take any string value and put it into file. Very easy, very quickly. Okay? What I believe of our conversation, it is applications. Basically applied stuff, how to use all that exceptions and files and so on. So we could create Notepad. You know this application, and you could just edit text file. So let me run it, and let me run it and show you. Yeah, it is even more advanced up when I could open file and save file. And this is almost like Notepad, but I want to show you something more basic. This one. So I could read from file. Before that, I already saved some lectures from our Canvas. I could edit that, put something. Again, save to file, clear, and read from file again. And we see that it is present here. Where is this file? This file is inside my project. I have this file txt, and we see this information is showed. So this is file input-output. This is not so complicated application for 86 lines. So let me jump into this. So basically, first of all, we have layouts here. So what do we have? We have HBox, which have this container with buttons. And then, basically, I'm sorry, not HBox. HBox is for buttons, this horizontal box. But this is another layouting system, which I didn't tell you about on previous lecture. It is border pane. What that mean? Border pane means that you have center, you have top panel, right panel, left panel, and bottom panel. In this application, I use only top panel and center panel. So this is border pane. This is our root for our scene. I create just paddings, this 10 pixels everywhere, and here also. And then I set buttons as the top of this border pane. So we have this top here, and set center part. This is text area. Why it is useful? Because the app become very adaptive. So when I, again, where is that? When I run it, I could change size of this app, and everything is adaptive. And so you see that this text area become this size or become this size. So text areas stick to the borders because of this border pane. This is idea of this another layout system. So this is regarding layouting. Let's move on. What other do we have here? So we have save button, and we have this action here. So we just get text from text area and put this text into method write to file. So we need to implement this method inside our application. We will implement that. We will access file and put content which we get as an argument. In a few minutes I will explain that. What else do we have? We have read button. So again, we just read content from another method, read from file. We also should implement this method in our application. We read this to content, to string, and then put into text area content which we just read from the file. And we have clear button, and we just access text area and call method clear, which cleans everything from text area. Okay, any questions regarding this part? Okay, just quite understandable. Now, method of writing to file. As I said, clicking to this button, we at the handler call write file, and we put string contents from text area here, and now we have this not very complicated mechanism, basically just 2 lines of code, 2 useful lines of code. First line, 3 lines of code, excuse me. Second line and third line. We have just 3 logical lines of code, and then we have also this exception handling. So as you see, we have this try section with resource opening inside of that. We open resource file writer, put name of the file inside this file writer. We have this file writer object here, and we just call method write. So we put string into this, not this string, I'm sorry, we put this string into this method and just save our file. Any questions regarding this? Again, very plain, straightforward way. Now, reading the file. So again, we click this button and we want to read. As you see, I hard-coded file name. So I could basically have text field here and type name of the file, and in this way I will have ability to play with different files. But here in this application I just hard-coded names everywhere. So here you also see that I write to this file and I read from the same file. So it is kind of hard-coded way of doing things. Not very good way, but for this application is pretty okay. Let's go. We have again this try section with opening resources, and you remember that we have file reader, but now.
Sergey, you want to record the lecture?
Oh, thank you very much. Unfortunately, just a bit late. Yeah, let me find it at my. Resume recording.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, so let me, again, this was our writing files, very simple way, and now we go to reading file. So we have file writer, then we put this file writer into buffered reader. And by the way, let me a bit bother you with questions. Could you explain very explicitly this from the point of view of syntax, object-oriented syntax? Could you explain me just this line? Yeah, Mikola.
Yeah. So we create a new object with the type buffered reader.
Okay, we create new object of the type buffered reader.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which has one argument in the constructor, which is the file reader.
Okay, so we run with new, we run constructor of buffered reader, and we see that we have argument of this constructor. Okay.
And this file reader, which we pass to the constructor, we create it on the go file reader itself has, at least in this case, not going to go to the Java docs. In this case, has one argument in the selected constructor, which has a string file name.
Yeah. So on the fly, inside the this method call or constructor call, we just create variable or object of file reader with, again, with new, and we put file name here. This string value as an argument for that constructor. So do you understand that? Because it is quite complicated line of code, but it is very important for you to understand. So again, when you generate, AI generate code and so on, you should easily read this kind of, oh, a lot of brackets, a lot of new, a lot of constructors, what that means. So this is very important.
Question,
Yeah.
like I tried to do that, like to just create a simple reader, like without even a function, and it throws me an error every time. Is there like a place where we should put the, for example, the file txt in order for the program to find it?
Yeah.
It says that it cannot
Yes.
find.
Yes. You should put your file in the top
Okay.
level of your project.
Guy, can you explain again, please, what is like for what we need buffered reader? Why can't we just have file reader?
Okay, first answer to this question is because we would like to read file line by line, and in this case, buffered reader give us such an interface that we call read line in loop. However, still it is possible with different other methods to get similar result, but that methods, they read the file, all the file at once. In this simple project, it is possible to do, but imagine if we just put, I don't know, 12 parts of some encyclopedia in this txt file and read all of that at a time. Maybe it could be quite not productive in this. However, of course, to show that encyclopedia in one text area also will be not productive. But let me not complicate everything.
So we have buffered reader to just make it faster.
So yes, it is make how to say faster or more performant. So it optimizes the way how we read the file. We read the file chunk by chunk. That's why our program will be more performant, more fast. Yeah, but if we read big file at once, then our program will be slow. Yeah, that's correct.
What is chunk?
Fragment. Just fragment by fragment.
Fragment of what?
Fragment of text file. So we have this big text file, and we read, in this case, with buffered reader calling read line, we read fragment, which is line by line. Small piece of file. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, guys?
So chunk is like a way to convert text into different parts or something like that, because I don't quite understand how we can divide text into chunks.
Okay, guys, so,
I can explain.
yeah, please, try to
The
explain.
buffered reader, buffer is some like space where you can store some piece of information. Chunk is just a limited amount of this text, like one line, for example. And the method you call readLine takes this chunk, this buffer, and presents it to you. Then it goes to another, to the next line. It's the way I understand it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Thank you for explanation. So the main idea that when you read it, not in one time, but have some process of reading. Of course, for us, it is very quick when we talk about small files and we just run this while loop and this just seconds But when we build high-load systems, then it makes sense to read this line by line, or symbol by symbol, or fragment by fragment, and our program will be alive. Our program will not be kind of take all the memory of the system and our program just stuck and so on. So this is the idea. Okay, so another concept which you may be not familiar still, this is string builder. Why we use string builder and not string? Okay, in different languages, when you want to have mutate string or to change string, to add something to the string in the loop, you could use just string. But in Java, strings immutable object. So when you add something to the string, you basically create new object of string. So you utilize more resources by creating new variables and so on. What is string builder? It is kind of the same like string, but it is string which we could easily change in optimal way. So that's why we have this line here. When we add to the string new and new and new line. So that's why we need, it is better. We could use string here, but it is better. Use string builder here. So in the loop, we make append line. We add new line to our string or string builder. But at the end of our method, we just convert this string builder to string, and that's why we still have return value as a string. So we just make this trick, and you could see in Java it is very often used, this string builder, but so you didn't use it before, so maybe pay attention to that. Yes?
I have a question. Is string builder, is it an array, some kind of list?
Yeah, it is kind of array of symbols. So it is basically like string. But we also could call string like array of symbols, but it is immutable array. But string builder is an array which is easy to mutate, to change. This is just inner structure of Java, guys. So welcome to the Java world. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. So let's move forward. We create just when we open file and starting to read. First of all, we create kind of string, but string builder, and we create additional variable line, which we will use in loop, which you're already familiar with. So we read line from the reader, compare it with null. If it's not null, then we have line in the loop. Then what we do with this line? We put this line to content. So let us have this. So in the loop, we will have, on the first iteration, content will have this. On the second iteration, our content will have also this. On the third iteration, our content will have also that line, and so on. So we create this line. You understand that? We understand all content, put all content into one string builder. So all the difference that we have basically this new line, symbols, and that's it. That's why we have also append. By the way, it is maybe interesting syntax for you also, that we have call one method, and then we put dot here, accessor operator, and again call the same method. How you understand that, guys?
Functional programming.
Yeah, it is functional, kind of functional style of programming, but how you syntactically understand that?
I can explain.
I don't know, so I'll try line plus, it would be like string concatenation, and that line is string, and it is.
Yeah, the essence that it is string concatenation. Okay, but in more precise way, how to explain? Yeah, please.
I can explain.
Yeah, please.
The append method just returns this, like the content, the modifiable thing.
Yeah, so let's put attention to that. Append method will return this variable. Could you believe that? So try to understand that. Append method will add line to inner storage, but will return himself. Will return this. And that's why when it returned this, we again could call another methods of this class. And in this class, we again, of course, have the same method, so no problem to call append again. And we could even make it many times. So just dot and another object. It is also very good object-oriented pattern when you return, you in such a way, it is builder basically. You return yourself and allow programmer to call another method and not to write content dot append line semicolon, content append new line semicolon. We just make it a little bit shorter. This is it. This is it, just to make it more beautiful. Okay? So, any questions again regarding reading file? If there is no questions,
Could you please like turn to write from file to file? I just want to check like yeah, great. Thanks.
now even more beautiful application to show you. So let me run it. So we could now create, let's say, circles in our application. So for example, I add circle, then I put another coordinates, 200 and maybe 200 also, and maybe another radius, so let it be 50 or even more, and add. So it is again black. I don't know, I tried to make it, yeah, randomized. So randomizer gave us 2 black circles, which is interesting. And so on and so forth. So I could create, for example, this circle. So you see that I have drag and drop also here. I don't want to bother you, but it is just to make my life easier to put all this stuff. But idea is that I could, by my hands, by creating these parameters, I could create many circles, then save that circles, and open, for example, load these circles and see this beautiful picture, and you know, create any other pictures. The idea is that all that shapes been saved here, and I could change, for example, this color. Propose me which color would you like if you know these web colors. Yeah, it is. So sorry guys, I'm just web developer, and for me it is very, I understand that web colors, what web colors, what are you talking about? Yes, I understand that. It is RGB, red, green, blue. So for example, if we put red FF, it is maximum, and red, green. For green, let's put 0, 0, and for blue, put 0, 0. What color will we have?
Red.
It seems it should be red, and let's load it, and we get red. So the same way, I could change other parameters. For example, let it be not 200, but 250. It is radius. And for example, placement by y-axis, 300 pixels vertical coordinate, and load it again. So I get kind of another, and I could do it with any circle here. Let me move it back. Okay, so how to create this application, how to work with that. Let's talk a little bit. Save circle objects to the file. So first of all, I believe that you could easily build this interface. Label, text edit, label, text edit, radius, label, text edit, button, button, button. All of that is what? This panel. What layout is this? HBox, and that's it, yeah. And here also we have one more interesting layout, which is absolute. I mentioned a bit about that. It is pane layout, pane. So let me show you in the code. Where is that? So somewhere here, yeah, I call it canvas. It is pane layout. So basically, HBox and VBox is derived from this class. So pane layout allows you to make coordinates x and y, and you just put not vertically or horizontally, but by coordinates. Absolutely, absolute positioning. You get that? So this is it regarding how to visualize that. But interesting part for us, it is how to save circles. And I want to explain you this method and how to read that, and then you will work maybe all together, maybe in groups, and trying to create something similar. Okay, so first of all, I have when I click button save, I will call this method in my program. I will pass into this method my canvas, my pane layout. Then what? I have shapes.txt. This is it. Then this is what you already know. I just start to read that. And then, so this is interesting for loop. So I read get children. Do you remember get children method?
Oh, yeah.
On previous, get children add all, or get children add. This is get children method of canvas. So let me jump. My canvas here, this, have many nodes. One node, second, third. All of that, all these circles are my nodes. That's why I want to read them in loop. I want to iterate through all my nodes of this pane canvas. So I create circle object, and I put current node in this loop to this my circle object. Now, could you explain me what this means? What do you think? What this means? Mykola, not you, someone else. What do you think, guys? Maybe someone who never told today. Okay.
It is casting.
Okay, Mikita. It is casting, type casting. How you understand type casting? Arsen, what do you think? Type casting, what that mean? This.
I remember we had numbers and we could write double in parentheses, so it converts it from integer to double. So here
Exactly.
we do the same, we just convert node to circle.
Yeah. So converting one type to another type. So node type, or this node, is how to say that, superclass, or some higher in hierarchy regarding circles. Circles are ancestors of node. So we have node here, but we need circle. We know that in this node only circles, because in my application, what is that? In my application, here only circles. So that's why I have this opportunity to cast, like Arsene said that we could cast integer to double. And here I just say, hey, Java, I know exactly that this node is basically circle. So that's why I put, and this is the syntax of typecasting. So I read this node of my superclass of node as a circle. That's why I put this. This is just syntax, how to read, how to convert maybe, let me say in such a way, and put circle basically as a circle object. Next. Now I have current circle. Now I want to write new line. You see new line into my file. So I have this file. Basically, I have this file here. I have this file, and I need to create this line. How to create this line? Now, we can use string format method. It is also method like printf. Also, it is the same syntax. But here, what that mean? When you use string format, it allows you to format this string, like create string template, and then put arguments for every of that placeholders, let's say. So, first is a string template. Now, what is this, guys? %d. What that mean?
I feel like I should remember, but I'm not sure.
Anyone knows? Maybe online? What means %d?
Okay, yeah, it definitely like talks about double maybe.
Maybe double?
There should be a double number here.
Yeah, basically not double, but integer.
Okay.
So yeah, d kind of tip for double, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
it is integer. Don't ask why, but you know, so.
I guess it's working for digit.
Digit, okay. So digit, that's why it is just integer digits. So let's consider that in such a way. So we have 3 integers. Between that integer, what is this, guys? What is this? Yeah, it's just space. So it is just space button. This is what exactly we have here. Because we need separators. If we have not this stuff, then we have 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, like one number. We don't want that. We need some separator. And our separator be just space. Okay, what is this? S. String, finally. S and string, it connected. So, exactly. Because fourth part of our string is basically string, not integer value, but string. So that's why we have this stuff as a string. And what is this? New line. If I don't put this mark here, what will I have in this file? Just one line with, and that would be absurd. That's why I put this mark also here. And then we just have every parameter for every placeholder. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 placeholders. That's why we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters. And first parameters replace first placeholder. Second parameter replace second placeholder, and so on. Now, we get layout X here, this method of circle. So let me explain what that means. We have for circle center this like coordinates, but also for circle we have this coordinate. So in my case, just because I use drag and drop, for me it is better to take this this coordinate. So that's why to have that coordinate, I just call method get layout X.
How to get the center? Just get X or get center?
Something like that, yeah. Something like that, yeah. Basically, it was first that previous variant, but then I changed that. So we get x, then we get y. Why I have integer here? Because result of get layout x is basically double. But I have pixels, I don't need double. I'm fine with just pixels. That's why I convert that to int to make file more beautiful and easy to edit. And again, it is typecasting, by the way. Then at the end, get radius, it is understandable. And then I create web color. So for web, it is common practice to put sharp at the beginning of the color. This is just how it is in graphic design. And then we just have this, oh my, quite long line. And let's discuss what that means. So first of all, get fill. It is basically get background color, okay, object of color. Then for that object of color, we just call toString, method of every object. And good news that result of that will be this, almost this, but there are still several symbols before which we don't need. So we need only starting from 2nd to 8 symbols, because what we have, yeah, I need to show you that. So result of color will be something like one unneeded symbol, another unneeded symbol, and then only we have, so something like that. So that's why I don't need this first two, even three 0, 1, yeah, I don't need first two symbols because it is alpha, it is opacity. And I take only this part, and that's why I have this substring. So I take part of the string starting from symbol number 2, ending symbol number 8. This is very small string parsing, but for you to understand. Okay. So basically, for me, it is the most important for you to understand this part and this part. So because I want you to play with coordinates, radius, and string template. Okay. And then how we load circle objects from the file. Now we put that to the file, how to load it from the file. So again, this is our every line. And common, and it is very important for parsing strings. The most important part is this. What do you think? What do we have here? In line, we have this string. What do you think? What is this?
Have an array of 375, comma 161.
Yeah.
Commas,
Yeah. And what do you think? Why? What this parameter means?
Like by what do we split like into the array?
Exactly. Exactly. And this is guys, please understand that. I want so much for you to understand that. In many programming systems, we parse in strings. It is everywhere. Word document or HTML document or JSON or so many systems under the hood, they parse the TXT files. And the most basic step to parse file, it is to break that into pieces. So we have file of words. And I could easily get all that words and play with that words. How to do that? I can just split, and I call this, I specify separator. How to split? In other languages, in PHP, it calls explode. Make explosion of this string and get many small pieces of the string. how I divide this string? By separator. This separator could be space. You could create in your files another separators, semicolon, for example, or comma, or double points. So it could be, I don't know, sharp. It could be different separators, but it is very easy way to parse something and to create complicated logic. So first of all, we just explode, we just split our line into many parts. So at the end, we just create array of strings. And now we have, okay, I have it on my screen. I have 4 elements in my array, every of which is string. So what I need to do next? What do you think? What that mean? We convert something to integer, absolutely. Okay, the question is, what do we convert to the integer? We take our array, and we take first part of this array. Yes or no? We take this array, and we take just first part, 0 element of the array. So that would be x. Then we put y, then we put radius, and then we put color. Color being parsed very easily by the system. We don't need to make sharp something, you know. So we just call first element of array, second element of array, third element of array, and fourth element of array. So we just read one line, split this line into 4 elements, and put every of elements into needed variable with some specific conversion approach. This is it. Okay? Do you understand that? And this is all the method. All the method. What I just explained, this is this part. But basically, you don't need this. It is just drag and drop. But everything else you need. You know what is buffer reader. You read the file. Then you know what this reader read line means. Then you get one line. Then you get split the line and put variables. And what? We just create circle. I just create circle with all needed here. Radius, color, x, y, and that's it. And after that, I put my circle into what? Into my pane, into my layout, into my canvas. And this is it. Nothing special, a bit overwhelming information, but still everything understandable, and you could jump into the syntax. Any questions?
Not yet. I guess we'll have them like when we do that.
You need to play with that. Now, let's play. So I propose you to make your work in groups. So those who are online, please work individually. Yeah. And you could also work individually here, or you could combine into groups 3 maximum, I believe. So, or work individually. But yeah, so your task, first, create basic Notepad application. And second, create shape application. So what do you need? First of all, create TXT. I'm more interested, guys, in this part, I could say. This part is more interesting for me. So create TXT file with coordinates, x, y, just coordinates, no color, just coordinates, even without radius. So if you have time, then add radius. Then create application which reads this file and visualize shapes from file. You take these coordinates and put this on the pane. And then create UI to add shapes and save that shape. So parse that stuff. Okay, let's do it.